In a powerful display, Elon Musk tweets out Freedom Fridays and then announces the Babylon Bee, Jordan Peterson, and Kathy Griffin are all back on Twitter. He says the new law of the land is freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach, which is an improvement. It's a bit better, but it's far from perfect. We'll get into some of the hypocrisy. Elon Musk is outright refusing to reinstate Alex Jones, but we'll get to that. For the past 24 hours or so, there's been an ongoing rumor that Twitter was on the verge of shutting down. A brilliant play by leftist organizers, who are evil, by the way. When Twitter started banning conservatives started creating alternatives. We saw websites like Minds, Gab, Parler, Getter, etc. They did not lie to you in order to get you to sign up, for the most part. I mean, there's salesmanship and stuff like that, and I can't pretend like I know everything, but for the most part, they said, hey, look, they're banning people. Come join our platform before you get banned. But this was true. Parler started taking off, and then all of a sudden, Silicon Valley coordinated and destroyed Parler. Now, the left is pushing the lie that with no engineers, Twitter will shut down. It's clever organizing, convincing people you're going to lose your following unless you sign up for Mastodon or Tribal Social or one of these other websites. It was all a big lie. Twitter's not going anywhere. There may be some issues, but Elon Musk is cleaning house. Now, okay, fine. It's possible the website shuts down, but I really doubt it. On the surface, Twitter may appear like a big, powerful website, but at its core, it's rather simple. You don't need all these weird features. You don't need a human rights team. How does that make sense? Now, right now, the left is freaking out because Elon Musk was locking out certain Twitter employees, shutting down the office, calling in engineers at the last minute, and they're all screaming, well, it's been fun, Twitter. There was this big obituary thing they did, and now Twitter's bigger than ever. More users than ever, says Elon Musk. And to be honest, he published an image of their, I believe it was their daily active users. I think it was. And he can't lie about those numbers because he's selling these numbers to advertisers. I mean, he can lie physically, but if he does, he'd be committing fraud. So I believe him when he says Twitter is bigger than ever. Now, with the return of Jordan Peterson and the Babylon Bee, it's probably going to get bigger yet again. I'm not so convinced that Kathy Griffin will attract any particular usage, but, sure, fine, whatever. Now, the left is screaming out saying this is BS. This is a threat to the public good, and it's going to cause a crises of our elections. Man, these people are evil, and they are crying about it. Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks comes out and says they don't believe in free speech, and it's all lies. Look, these high-profile leftist individuals who run big companies, I know they're smart enough to run big companies, so they know they're not being honest when they lie about what's going on. Trying to claim that the right thinks free speech means you can't get fired for going on Twitter and disparaging your boss. Yet nobody's saying that's free. I mean, there's free speech. These Twitter employees are still on the platform, smack talking. Elon's not banning them. He's just saying you shouldn't work here. You're a threat to this company. And they are disparaging it. But I'm going to tell you outright, as good of news as this appears to be, I don't care. I was actually a bit offended when one user told Elon Musk to reinstate Alex Jones, and he outright just said no. Okay, fine. I'm not really offended. It's just kind of like, are you kidding me, dude? Maybe he's joking. Maybe it's a troll. Who knows? Maybe he's simply saying not the next thing he'll do. He tweeted, what's the next thing Twitter should do? Someone said, bring back Alex Jones. Said no. No? You want me to pay you money, but you're not going to really bring about free speech? Elon claims it's free speech now, but not freedom of reach. And he explains it. That would include bringing Trump back and Alex Jones and Milo and Laura Loomer and many others that were banned from the platform. So we'll see if Elon is being genuine or if he just thinks there's a market opportunity to reinstate some of these accounts. We'll see. But let's get into this. And then I want to show you the outrage from all of these leftists freaking out, their lies and disingenuous tactics trying to justify why people should leave the platform. But before we do, my friends, we have an awesome sponsor today. EstablishedTitles.com/Tim Pool. Click the link in the description below and you can become a lord today. Established Titles sells small plots of lands in Scotland to make you a laird or lady. as it were. Again, use the promo code TimPool or go to establishedtitles.com/TimPool. They say it's a project based on the historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lords and ladies. Their title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. To add to that, they're also a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. They do this by planting a tree with every order and work with global charities like One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future. The first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot. Within a few minutes of walking distance, it makes for an amazing last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running a massive Black Friday sale right now, and if you use the code TIMPOOL, you'll get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/TimPool to get your gifts and help support the channel. And this isn't part of the promo, but I have to do it because last night during IRL, everybody loves this thing so much. We had people, like the first time we did a shout out for them, everybody was making jokes about like, do you get mineral rights? Do you get like air rights? And last night, people were suggesting buying up plots of land in Scotland under the name Ligma Johnson. And I pointed out how hilarious it would be, considering we get millions of viewers, if like 1 million square feet of Scotland was purchased under the lordship of Ligma Johnson. And I can only imagine, because it's not even about like whether you actually want to create Lord Ligma Johnson, like having this plot of land. But people are like going to buy their friends a gift and it's going to say Lord Ligma Johnson, which is a shout out to Elon Musk, by the way, in this whole story. But I digress. I just want to say in like an extended promo, it would be actually really hilarious. So, whatever. I'm sure the sponsor will be very happy with the amount of people who are doing that. Here's the news from the Post-Millennial. Babylon Bee, Jordan Peterson, Kathy Griffin back on Twitter. Elon Musk tweeted, new Twitter policy is freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach. Negative/hate tweets will be max deboosted and demonetized, so no ads or other revenue to Twitter. You won't find the tweet unless you specifically seek it out, which is no different from the rest of the internet. I completely agree. This is akin to what I had been saying already. Maybe Elon listened to Bill Ottman of Minds or my tweets related to this, that if someone posts something that breaks the rules, you simply put it in the shadow realm, the nether regions of Twitter. Now look, Twitter's under no obligation to amplify your speech, but removing you from the platform for your opinions, I think, is wrong. If someone wants to follow your account, they should be allowed to. So they will go to your page and find it. That's fine, in my opinion. The problem, however, is the overreach. What does a negative tweet mean? What does a hate tweet mean? Isn't the tweet from the Babylon Bee that got their page suspended also a hate tweet? Or is your opinion something different? Elon will have to create a logical framework for what constitutes a hate tweet. But I've said this for a long time. YouTube, for instance. YouTube has no obligation to place my videos in the algorithm so everyone sees it. They have no obligation to sell ads on my video and then give me the money. Now that creates problems, and I'll be completely honest with you. Why are we doing promo spots on this channel? I rarely do. YouTube is basically stripping revenue from this channel. Just this one. Don't ask me why. Maybe it's because I'm talking about election stuff. Who knows? But revenue on the past few videos I've done dropping like 90%. So I'll pick up a direct sponsor, which more than covers what YouTube is stripping away. It is what it is. But I don't think YouTube's under an obligation to be my ad sales guy. I got an ad sales guy, so if they're not going to deliver, I'll find someone else. Fine. What I don't think is that YouTube, Facebook, Twitter should be deleting free speech. They don't have to promote it. That's fine. But I'm on the platform the same as I'm using a phone. Now, Elon Musk may claim to say that this is free speech, but I don't buy it. First, let's take a look at some of the things he said. In response to this, he added, note, this applies just to the individual tweet, not the whole account. Now, I agree with that, too. If you tweet something and they deem it to break the rules or whatever, I get it. It could threaten advertisers. Advertisers don't want to have a toothpaste ad running next to war footage or something. But you got to define what that is. And that means you as an individual on your account, you don't got to worry about this all the time. Now, here's the reality. This already was the rule of Twitter, shadow banning and silencing and all that stuff. But It looks like Elon Musk is basically saying we're not going to permanently ban you for the most part. So, okay. The Babylon Bee says we're back. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Absolutely. Elon Musk said Freedom Fridays. One user said start unbanning. Where is the Babylon Bee? Akira the Don responded, dreams come true. The Babylon Bee has returned. And there it is. Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, he's back. He says, thanks, Elon Musk. With Michaela Peterson just down there saying, perfect. Wonderful. And then we have this brilliant transaction. Elon Musk says, what should Twitter do next? Next. One Twitter user says, bring back Alex Jones. And he says, no. Okay. I'm not a fan. Elon could have ignored it. He could have said, maybe. He could have said, not yet. He said, no. Now, I'll be fair. We're looking at a major net positive with what Elon Musk is doing. But saying no outright to this, I don't trust Elon. He says they haven't made a decision yet on Donald Trump. Why not? Donald Trump didn't break the rules. They just removed him because they were like, he's an insurrectionist. Why no decision there? He then says no to Alex Jones. Alex Jones got banned because he was yelling at Oliver Darcy and calling him mean names. Well, I thought Elon Musk's rules were that they would just ban those things, send him to the shadow realm. Why permanently ban the individual? Why not restore him? Okay, fine. Maybe Elon is saying the next thing he's going to do will not be to bring back Alex Jones. But I'll see it when I believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. There you go. I think the first thing he should do is unban Project Veritas and James O'Keefe. But we will see. Now, I want to commend and give credit to the leftists who are making up fake stories to try and cause a mass exodus from Twitter. And it partly worked, but I don't think it'll work for long. Rolling Stone ran this story the other day. All Twitter offices closed as hundreds of employees resign. The Twitter CEO gave employees until Thursday to decide whether to leave or commit to an extremely hardcore culture. I talked about this in an early morning segment. But basically what they did was they started telling everybody, look, I got an inside source at Twitter who's saying Twitter can't exist. It's going to shut down because he fired everybody. And then they started, all these journalists got together, like all of them, and said, Twitter obituary. It was fun while it lasted. What they were trying to do is convince regular people that unless they were in control, you were going to lose all of your followers. Oh, no, but you've worked so hard on your followers. Better sign up for Mastodon before it's too late. That's what they were doing, creating a sense of urgency. Now, a lot of people did sign up for Mastodon, but Mastodon bans things that are illegal in Germany. It's like, okay, well, what? Sure. Maybe not every server, but I think that's what Mastodon actually says. And it's also very hard to use. I, again, mentioned this earlier. I have a Mastodon account I set up a long time ago. I have no idea how to find it. So it just doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. Following this news, we got more news from Zoe Schiffer. New. Email from Elon to the engineering team. Anyone who can actually write software, please report to the 10th floor at 2 p.m. today. Before doing so, please email me a bulletin point summary of what your code commits have achieved in the past 6 months. Elon Musk is also asking for up to 10 screenshots of the most salient lines of code from Twitter engineers. Again, no context as to what this is about. We know Twitter's engineering teams have been gutted by layoffs and resignations. What's next? Yesterday, Twitter told employees the offices were closed and badge access was suspended. In an email to remote Twitter engineers, Elon Musk says he wants to speak to people on video. Only those who cannot physically get to Twitter HQ are excused. But if possible, I would encourage you to fly to San Francisco to be present in person. He'll be at the office until midnight. I am having a difficult time believing this is real, and I am looking at the emails. So we shall see. We shall see. Oh, man. Chris Hayes had a really interesting take on this. He said, more seriously, without Google Reader as a fallback, I honestly am not sure how to synthesize the amount of info I need to do my job if this thing goes down. Deliciously honest. Thank you, Chris Hayes, for telling us how much you rely on the platform. And I mean that legitimately. A lot of people do. It's kind of crazy, though. I don't. I record like, what do we do? 3.5, 4 hours of content per day. Yeah, 4 hours of talking per day. I don't need Twitter. I will say, rather ironically, the overwhelming majority of this segment is tweets. But that's because this news is particularly relevant to Twitter and it's breaking on Twitter. But I do a lot of stories, and almost all the stories I do are based on news articles. And we source our own news. We have original reporting at timcast.com, and we use a lot of original reporting. We do a lot of the Daily Mail. Yep. And I'll tell you exactly why. The left screams about it. Dude, I got no problem saying it. I'll pull up a ton of sources, and the Daily Mail's already compiled all of it in like a very long piece, breaking it all down. And I'm like, man, these guys nail it. They work hard. A lot of tabloid garbage too, but hey, it is what it is. When they're talking about stories like this, they'll have like 1,000 words on it within an hour. Impressive. Now, it's fair to say that Twitter helped speed this process up, creating these articles, but not all of it. Many journalists have become lazy. They've not been fact checking. So, Chris, this is why you get so much wrong. The Covington Catholic kids, yet not helped by Twitter. So, fair point. A lot of people will be hurt by that, but I'm not going to cry about it. Here's Thomas Zimmer. He is a visiting professor from Georgetown, Democracy and Its Discontents. Here's what he writes. Oh, begin the whinging and the crying. He writes, the world's most important political communications platform, a virtual public square functioning as an essential part of democratic culture, destroyed within weeks, willfully or not, hard to tell, by some tech oligarch, and no one even tried to stop him. A historic disaster. Dude, you're saying that on Twitter. The platform is still there. He goes on. I have no snark in me, no sarcasm. I find this devastating. An outrageous failure to protect a public good that has significant democratizing effects from the destructive meddling of narcissistic elites who are being guided by a fundamentally anti-democratic worldview. For those who are rightfully concerned about the seemingly impending destruction of the virtual public square, we just discussed Musk, Twitter's importance, and the libertarian to far-right tech oligarchy's anti-democratic project in the new episode of our podcast. These people are deliciously evil. You know, it's fun to watch them whinge. But it's funny. It's fun. They're like, allowing people to speak and stop censoring their political ideas opposes democracy. Talk about fascists. All I wanted was less Nazis on this platform, Elon. So please ban people like Thomas Zimmer. Not really. They should be allowed to speak as well. But hey, what can I say? Literally all we ever wanted was an edit button and fewer Nazis, says Jacob Rubishkin, a reporter for Inside Elections and formerly of NBC News. And he says, but when the world needed him most, he vanished, and it's Ashton Kutcher for some reason. Fewer Nazis. Bro, there's like almost no Nazis on the platform. But they just lie because they're in a cult. Yeah, it's one big cult where anyone who's not in the cult is a Nazi. So when you allow people onto the platform to actually speak, it's, oh no, it's more Nazis. Yeah, okay, dude, that old lady who said learn to code ain't a Nazi. In fact, her husband probably fought the Nazis, but sure. Kurt Wagner says Elon Musk, a self-described free speech absolutist, has fired at least 2 senior Twitter engineers who called him out publicly on Twitter. And another one, he says. Oh, yeah? Okay. Let's break this one down. In this tweet from Cenk Uygur, he says, Elon Musk is firing everyone who criticizes him at Twitter. Right-wing free speech advocates are always the first to strike down their critics. They want to protect their speech, not yours. They love cancel culture when they're the ones doing the canceling. Okay, let's break this down for these guys who I can only assume are being willfully obtuse. It is not free speech to crap all over your company and your boss. And it is not, well, let me say that. It is not censorship if you get fired because you were crapping all over your company and your boss. It is not cancel culture if you are fired for disparaging your company and your boss. It is cancel culture when you get censored, shut down, and silenced for your opinions. It is cancel culture if you are fired from your job because you were having a private discussion or because you said something in the past. It would be cancel culture if Elon Musk was firing some guy because 10 years ago he tweeted a naughty word and then he bought the company and says, I don't like what you said back then. It is not cancel culture. If you're working for a company and you say, my company is garbage, my boss is a piece of crap, and then you get fired. Now, many, to be fair, may argue that working at a company and saying something nasty and then you get fired is cancel culture. I don't necessarily think so. I do think, depending on the institution, you should be allowed to tweet your mind. I also recognize if you're a representative of a company and you say something like overtly racist and they fire you, I'm like, well, depending on what you said, I can understand why that's damaging to the company and why they don't want to be associated with it. The real problem with cancel culture is, in good faith, I would say this. If you tweet a naughty word and your company fires you, in good faith, I'm saying, well, I understand that because we don't want people to disparage their companies and cause problems for them. The issue, if someone were to come out, we've had people at Timcast tweet really nasty things and post things. And I'm just like, I'm not going to fire you for it. I'm just going to tell you, be mindful and have more tact. But even if it could be damaging, I understand there are limits, and the limits are the activism. The real problem of cancel culture doesn't come when someone is fired by the company. It comes when the activists organize and create fake campaigns. Well, I guess they're real campaigns, but they go after advertisers, try to get them to pull out of the company to cause damage, and then the person caves and fires the individual. That is cancel culture. The problem is the activists who are using Twitter to organize. So, Jank. And to Kurt Wagner. Isn't Kurt Wagner the name of Nightcrawler? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, I digress. The X-Man, It is not a free speech issue. Elon is allowing them to speak, but he's just removing them from the company where they clearly have disdain for the company. And it's not even about something they said that's naughty. It's about a risk to the internal systems. If they came out and said something like they believed in wokeness and critical race theory and Elon fired them, I'd be agreeing with you. I'd say, hey, look, you probably shouldn't do that. Right now, Twitter migration is trending. This is what you get from Mastodon. Alex Vranis says, I don't know, he's got 18,000 retweets on this. Who's this guy? Just a he/him, 710 followers, but he got 20,000 retweets. He says, Mastodon may not replace Twitter, but at least it has better leadership. Meet Eugen, CEO of Mastodon Social. And surprise, surprise, it's a tweet revealing them to be in a cult. He says, if anyone has any questions about the platform on the Fediverse, I'll be happy to answer them. Someone asks, why do you silence the alt-right instances? And he says, Nazis are bad and I do not want to give them a platform or for recruiting. The person responded, a platform for recruiting, haha, Nazis haven't been around for a long time. And the guy says, that BS doesn't work on me, man. Okay, here's the point. You're in a cult, Eugen. You're in a cult. To go around screaming Nazis all the time, yeah. If someone says, listen, the Nazis have been gone for a long time, yes. You can clarify bro, I'm just speaking colloquially and referring to people who are racist white supremacist types. Fine. But the issue is with the cult, anyone who's not in the cult is a Nazi. And that's why I say, bro, you're in a cult. Because the language you use is of the cult. You could explain your thoughts, and I'd say probably not. But if you are speaking in words that are directly representative of the cult, well, then you're probably in a cult. Oh, here we go. Ken Klippenstein. He put out a really great story about the government was colluding with big tech. He tweets, oh, cool. Quote, negative tweets as defined by a right-wing billionaire are going to be throttled. My friend, I hear you. I am also concerned of this. But bro, why didn't you come out when the other billionaire was in control and doing the exact same thing? Literally the exact same thing. Forgive me if I don't take you seriously. And here we are. Hal Singer. Who is this Hal Singer on Twitter? Managing director of Econ 1. Adjunct professor at Utah Econ. He says, if I had Biden's ear, I'd tell him to seize Twitter's assets, hire back the former employees, and convert the site into a truly digital nonprofit public square. And he says, looks like there's a Twitter handle devoted to this policy worth a follow. And he says, all these libertarians in my replies, quote tweet saying, we love the repression of workers' liberties, particularly in the form of fealty pledges, so long as they come from a powerful employer in the private sector, blah, blah, blah. This guy is really dumb. Also getting these, you can't nationalize a company in the USA tweets, blah, blah, blah. He is very dumb. Suraj Hashmi says, now that's what I call a fascist. I'm going to slow down there, my friends, and say, sure. I get it. wanting Biden to seize the platform now that Elon Musk is in charge. But I don't completely disagree with him. You know why? Because if the federal government did seize Twitter, the Constitution would apply. And boy, would that open the floodgates. So bring it on, leftists. Nationalize Twitter. We got a constitution going on. You know what that means? Right now, Elon Musk is saying that he's going to not amplify certain speech. Sure, if you're following someone and they say something naughty, Twitter says they're not going to show you it. You have to seek it out yourself. I actually respect that. I do think it's probably better if you follow someone, you get their post. Probably better that any post that breaks the rules is just blurred or something. If the federal government were to seize Twitter, you know what that would mean? I can follow anyone and they must deliver. The post office, as far as I know, has limited discretion in deciding not to deliver your mail. I mean, if you have like a dog and there's a threat to someone's safety, totally get it. But I'm pretty sure the post office can't be like, we've politically decided not to service your account. Yeah, that's probably illegal. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. But on free speech grounds with Twitter, there's a difference between receiving packages and hearing someone speak. Imagine if the federal government had the right to disable your phone number, like just because they didn't like what you had to say. Yeah, that'd violate the First Amendment. So by all means, dude, let the government nationalize this. I'd love for that to be the case, that we have free speech. Ah, yes. And here we are with the Washington Post. Jeff Bezos can't be happy about this. How to download your tweets in case Twitter shuts down permanently. What I find truly amazing in this whole arc is the news cycle doesn't care about Twitter. But for some reason, wow, it's dominating the news. Just goes to show you that these journalists live in a wacky Wally world bubble. And they think it's the most important thing ever. They're scared they're going to lose their Twitter followers, which they use to score free donuts and better seats on airplanes. It's probably going to happen. I'll tell you this. We have Twitter Blue for Timcast News. Timcast News is just the official account for the news team. They can post news stories. We had a few viral stories last week with Elad Eliyahu's coverage in New York of this big protest. And I bought Twitter Blue for it to get the verification badge. So y'all know it actually is the account, and it's verified and all that's official. And I haven't bought it on my personal account, the one with the actual big following, 1.4 million followers. Thank you for following me. I mean, it's crazy that people follow me, and I appreciate it. But I don't know if I'm going to spend the $8 even for the verification badge. Now, look, initially I said I would pay $8 for expanded services, but Elon Musk came out and said he's not going to reinstate Alex Jones, and he said it rather definitively. Look. You don't have to like Alex Jones, but under the rules of Twitter, as he's stating them right now, Alex should be allowed back on the platform, and any negative tweet or hateful tweet, like when he was yelling at Oliver Darcy, so got him banned, that would just be suppressed. And not even really that, it would just be relegated to Alex's Twitter account. You got to go find it. You can't, it won't appear in your timeline or anything like that. If Elon's not going to abide by even what he's claiming his own policies are, then why should I trust this product is going to be worth paying for? Well, for the time being, I'll say this. I may eventually sign up. We'll see, maybe in a couple of months, because I want Twitter to succeed, especially under Elon Musk. Bringing back Babylon Bee and Jordan Peterson, I think, was a good move. So I want there to be success here. And I know Elon needs there to be success. So with that being said, I'll tell you what I did. I bought a big ol' ad on Twitter. It is our Kamagamaga t-shirt. It's the one of Donald Trump going Super Saiyan, and I did it kind of as a gag, and it's a big ad buy. And here's what I want to see. I see a bunch of corporate press. They have the official badge. Why? Why do all of these corporate left-leaning journalist organizations get an official badge? Because they're advertisers? Okay. How much do I got to spend to get an official tag? Do I get to be double verified, Elon? I just bought a big ad spend on my t-shirt. And we've already sold 400. I think today we may have sold 100 or so shirts or something like that. The ad hasn't even turned on yet, by the way. So thank you for buying the shirt. But I'm going to, if I put this shirt up and it makes money, well, then I'll keep advertising because I made money, right? So I committed $25,000 to this ad buy. Hey, I said it was a lot of money because I want to see, and I'm confident that we will make more money in shirts by advertising. That's the point. I want to see if Twitter works. If we sell a couple thousand t-shirts, we will have made back that money we spent on ads. So I don't think I'm going to lose anything. And if that works, we can run ad campaigns for other shirts. And if that works, we are going to be successfully selling political, silly t-shirts on Twitter. And we'll keep doing it. Do I get a double verification then? That's what I want to see. I think Twitter ads work. I do. We've already made money. I mean, I posted a tweet. We sold a bunch of shirts. Ad hasn't even started yet. So we'll see. Surprisingly, they haven't started the ad because I think there's a skeleton crew at Twitter and they have to like manually review it and press go. So, we'll see. I don't know. But I'm not too happy. I'm not too happy. What I mean by that is I'm happy, but I'm not like as happy as I could be. And that's especially over the Alex Jones thing. I want to see Project Veritas reinstated. I get it if Alex Jones is dangerous and volatile and Elon's like, bro, I can only do so much. But you understand that's the way it goes. That when Elon says, I can only do so much, rest assured, when the advertisers pull out, eventually he'll start giving in. More importantly, he's making a big bet. He's making a bet that there's more free speech people than anti-free speech people. But if the free speech people say, Elon, I'm not giving you the money because you won't reinstate Alex Jones, then he has to rely on advertisers. And if the advertisers say, I'm not giving you money because you reinstated Jordan Peterson, then he's got no money. So I think he's got to pick a side. And I think that side is going to be free speech. And I think he's going to have to reinstate Alex Jones. You want me to spend money on this platform? That's what it's going to have to be. I get it. For the time being, I've made a decent commitment on an ad campaign to see if the platform works, and I'm convinced it will. And in good faith. I don't want to sit back. I'll put it this way. I said I wasn't going to get Twitter blue until he started reinstating people. They did. Several people over the past week or so were reinstated. It was interesting to see. Now he's brought back the Babylon Bee. Okay. He has shown me that behind the counter, he's making the grilled cheese. Now I'm confident the grilled cheese is for sale. I'll put some money behind that. But I want to see improvement. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, crazy days indeed. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 8 p.m. tonight over at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.